Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shikha from Department of Zoology, GMN College. I hope you all are safe and sound at your places. Today we will be discussing on the topic reproductive isolation and how this reproductive isolation leads to speciation. The contents of the discussion would be: firstly, what is speciation? Second, what is reproductive isolation? Third, the isolating mechanisms and its two types, that is, pre-zygotic isolating mechanisms and post-zygotic isolating mechanisms, and we will discuss all these with their suitable examples. Coming up to what is species. Species is a group of population whose members have the ability to interbreed with one another under natural conditions and produce fertile offspring and reproductively isolated from other species. As we all know, there are number of species on the earth. Scientists have identified about 2 million species and still do not know how many species inhabit the earth. Scientists estimate as many as 30 million species may inhabit the earth, and in the figure you can see a number of species of the penguins. Similarly, there are number of species of different organisms, and this contributes to the diversity of the species. Next is evolution of species or the speciation process. Any factor that leads to the origin of new species from the pre-existing forms contributes to the speciation. Speciation refers to the origin of new species from the pre-existing forms. Speciation occurs when members of similar populations no longer are able to interbreed to produce fertile offsprings within their natural environment. It occurs when groups in a species become reproductively isolated and diverge, and this is what we are going to discuss in detail, that how the groups that how the reproductive isolation occurs, and it leads to this formation of the multiple species from a single species. So this concept of speciation is an important part of theory of evolution. The main topic that we will be discussing today in detail is how the reproductive isolation is a driving force behind the speciation. First, we should understand what is reproductive isolation. Before that, what is an isolating mechanism? Any factor which prevents the interbreeding between even the related groups of the living organisms is called as an isolating mechanism, while the phenomena of inability of living organisms to interbreed is called reproductive isolation. According to Mayer, reproductive isolating mechanisms are the biological properties of individuals which prevent the interbreeding of naturally sympatric population, and as a result new species will form when reproductive isolation occurs. What is the significance of reproductive isolation? First and foremost is it maintains the distinctiveness of characters of different species. Secondly, it helps in the accumulation of the variation, and ultimately it leads to the speciation. In the absence of the reproductive isolation, these variants may be able to freely interbreed, leading to the disappearance of differences between them. Third is it divides a population into subpopulations which will differ significantly from the ancestral population, and ultimately it leads to the formation of new species and the process of speciation occurs. Now, from a species there are two type of barriers which act upon a species, that is prezygotic barriers and postzygotic barriers, which we describe as pre-mating mechanisms and post-mating mechanisms. And these mechanism ultimately leads to the reproductive isolation, and due to the reproductive isolation ultimately a new species is formed, and we call it as speciation as occurred. So coming up to the isolating mechanisms, as I have already told that isolating mechanism is one which prevents the interbreeding and maintains the reproductive isolation, and we can basically categorize the isolating mechanism into two different forms, that is pre-zygotic isolating mechanisms and post-zygotic isolating mechanisms. As the term says, pre-zygotic are one which occur before the fertilization, and post-zygotic are ones that occur after the fertilization. We will discuss the pre-zygotic and post-zygotic isolating mechanism in detail, and there are further subtypes of both the isolating mechanisms. So we will be discussing both the mechanism with suitable examples. Firstly, let us discuss about the prezygotic barriers. Prezygotic, that is the obstacles that are present before an egg can be fertilized, or these prevent the copulation and fusion of gametes of interspecific crosses. In the pre-isolating mechanisms, there are further 7 subtypes. We will be discussing it by one. First is geographical isolation, next is ecological or habitat isolation, next is temporal or seasonal isolation, next is behavioral or ethological isolation, next is mechanical incompatibility, next is physiological isolation, and lastly the gametic isolation. Coming up first to the geographical isolation. In the geographical isolation, organisms are separated by the geographical barriers, and the barriers could be like water bodies, mountains, deserts or rivers, even oceans, etc. And these barriers prevent the interbreeding between them. So, the processes like natural selection occur independently on both sides of the geographical barrier, and ultimately it leads to the formation of new species or subspecies. An excellent example of the geographical isolation is Darwin finches that are present on the Galapagos Island. Another example we could see in the figure that due to the geographical barrier, two species are formed from a single one, that is northern spotted owl and Mexican spotted owl. Coming up to the ecological, or we can call it as habitat isolation. It is mating inability between the organisms of closely related species or subspecies occupying the same region but different habitats. An example is two species of Rana, that is Rana gryleo, that is pig frog, and Rana areolata, that is gopher frog, live in different habitats. So the two species show an excellent ecological or habitat isolation. Another example we could take is dark frog and light frog. Dark frog lives underground and only emerges during the heavy rains, while the light frog lives in trees and does not burrow underground. So the habitats are different. Another example could be of the mountain bluebird. The mountain bluebird lives at high elevation, while the eastern bluebird prefers low elevation. So ultimately their habitats are different, and they are reproductively isolated through ecological or habitat isolation. Then we will discuss upon the temporal isolation. Temporal isolation occurs when species cannot mate because they breed at different times of the year. In the temporal isolation, we can also call it as seasonal isolation. It is due to the effect of factors like photoperiod, temperature, humidity. The breeding season of animals of one species is different from that of other species. As a result, they are reproductively isolated. The example is American toad breeds in the early part of the rainy season, while the fowler toad breeds in the later part of the rainy season. So as a result, they are reproductively isolated. Another example is of pine. Monterey pine and the bishop pine have different pollination periods. One having pollination period in February, while the other having pollination period in April. So as a result, due to the different pollination periods, both are reproductively isolated. Another example of the seasonal or temporal isolation could be of wood frog and the leopard frog. We can see the pictures of wood frog and leopard frog beautifully in the slide, and we can also see the graph of the mating activity of wood frog and leopard frog. What this graph depicts is the mating activity is highest for wood frog is between March and April, and the mating activity for the leopard frog is highest between April and May. So as a result, the time of the mating activity is different in the wood frog and the leopard frog, and as a result they both are reproductively isolated through the seasonal or temporal isolation. Another example of the temporal isolation could be of sea urchins. We could see that one is red and another is black. So red and black urchins live in the same location, but they release their gametes at different time of year, and hence they are reproductively isolated. Coming up to the mechanical incompatibility or the mechanical isolation. This type of isolation occurs due to the differences in the morphological structures such as external genitalia, and the example could be Drosophila and Glossina. In this, the closely related species may attempt to mate but fail because they are anatomically incompatible, and as a result, the transfer of sperm is not possible. On the other hand, in the animals with internal fertilization, male and female sexual organs may not fit with each other. Another example of the mechanical isolation could be of snails. Snails of species whose shells are left-handed spirals are unable to successively copulate with the snails with the right-handed spirals. This is a beautiful picture showing right-handed and left-handed spirals of the snail, and the mechanical up to the behavioral or the ethological isolation. In this, the reproductive isolation is due to the differences in the courtship or the sexual behavior patterns between the members of closely related species. An example could be of males of different species of the sticklebacks have different mode of nest building and the courtship dancing behavior. Another example could be of fireflies. The fireflies produce patterns of flashes that attract their mates, and over 2000 species of flies are isolated based upon the patterns of the flashes they produce. In this figure, we could beautifully see two types of bowerbirds. The different species of the bowerbird build and decorate their bowers in different colors in order to woo the females. On the left, we could see satin bowerbird which builds the nest in an upright position and decorates it with the blue colored objects. On the other hand, the right picture is of MacGregor's bowerbird. It builds the nest in the form of tall tower of sticks and decorates it with the bits of the charcoal. So it is an beautiful example showing the ethological isolation through the behavioral patterns by having different modes of nest building in the bowerbird. Another example of the ethological isolation is could be of eastern and western meadow larks. The members of the two species will not mate with each other because they use different types of the songs to attract the mates. The eastern meadowlarks will not respond to the western meadowlark songs, and hence they are reproductively isolated. Coming up to the physiological isolation. In this, there is mating incompatibility due to the functional incompatibility in their mating. For example, the swelling of the vaginal mucous membrane of the Drosophila in case the interspecific mating occurs, and as a result the reproductive isolation occurs. These are all the pre-mating mechanisms we have discussed. Now coming up to the post-mating isolating mechanisms. If the efficient pre-mating and mechanisms fail, then the post-mating mechanisms prevent their hybrid formation. Isolating mechanisms occur after the fertilization and prevents the hybrid zygotes to develop into viable fertile adults. There are three likely cases that will occur to ensure that the hybrid do not reproduce, and as a result of these there are different types of the post mating isolating mechanism. First is the gametic mortality, next is zygotic mortality, next is hybrid inviability, next is hybrid infertility, and the last is hybrid breakdown. We'll discuss all these one by one with the beautiful examples. Coming up to the gametic mortality. In the case of the external fertilization, the sperms are unable to fertilize the eggs due to the unfavorable climatic conditions, and in the case of internal fertilization, sperms of different species may be immobilized or killed in the female genital tracts. The sperms encounter antigenic reactions in the genital tract of female, and as a result they are killed before they have chance to reach to the egg. So example is insemination reaction in the Drosophila. Coming up to the zygotic mortality, it results in the death of the zygote that is formed as a result of mating and fertilization. Example is of sheep and goat. Next is hybrid inviability. The term hybrid refers to the offsprings between the two species, and the inviability refers to an organism that does not thrive. In hybrid inviability, mating occurs and a hybrid is produced, but the hybrid is very weak and cannot live outside the uterus. In this, the hybrid zygotes fail to develop as an embryo formed by interspecific crosses abort during the development. An example is several species of frog live in the same habitats, but the hybrids do not complete the development. For example, the hybrid between the Rana pipiens and the Rana sylvatica do not survive beyond the gastrula stage. Next example is of sheep and goat. They mate and then hybrid zygote die before birth. The creation of unsuccessful hybrid is also a form of oozygotic barrier. Hybrid sterility. In most of the organisms, hybrids are sterile due to the incompatibility of the chromosomes. The species mate and the hybrids are viable, but the hybrid is sterile. it is due to the difference in the chromosome number, and the meiosis cannot produce the normal gametes. Example is cross between male donkey and female horse produces mules. Mules are healthy, they are viable, but they are sterile. Another example is of hinny. It is produced by crosses between the she-ass and the stallion, but they are sterile. There are number of exceptions to the hybrid sterility. There are number of examples where interspecific crosses may produce fertile interspecific hybrids in captivity, as no reproductive barrier has been developed between these species even after their long isolation from each other. Example is tigons, that is a hybrid between African lioness and Asian tigers, but they do not breed in nature due to the different geographical distributions. Another example is the fertile hybrid between the mallard duck and pintail duck, but in nature they do not breed due to the different mating and nesting behavior patterns. Another example is fertile hybrid between polar bear and Alaskan brown bear, but they do not breed in nature due to the different habitats, that is ecological isolation. This shows that reproductive isolation is not an universal phenomenon. Next is hybrid breakdown. In this, first generation hybrids are viable and fertile, but the F2 hybrids may be inviable or sterile. In certain cases, the hybrids are fertile, but progeny is weak, abnormal or sterile. This is termed as hybrid breakdown. The example is interspecific hybrids of cotton. At the genetic level, the offsprings of interspecific hybrids are usually sterile due to the incompatibility between the chromosomes of two different species and the failure to pair in the meiosis. Thank you everyone. I hope you all understood the concept of reproductive isolation well, and ultimately how this reproductive isolation contributes to the speciation. Thank you all.